BTC recently did flip green on the monthly after just a horrific event. I think it was like August 4th, like that Saturday or Sunday, when everything happened with Japan and a lot of the global markets and stuff like that, when everything just absolutely tanked and put us in the predicament that we're in right now. Ethereum going the whole way down to 2,100 that day, and really has only rallied up to about 27 maybe or something, maybe 28 since then, and right now sits at about 25, I think. So we'll look at that in a minute, while Vitalik also dumps many of their tokens. ETH still horrible versus BTC, but BTC now back down just after flipping green the other day. Shows you even with Bitcoin. I mean, like, no, nobody here thinks that Bitcoin's going to do a 10x this cycle or anything like that, but the volatility, is still there. I mean, in the short term. So we're seeing it. It was just over like 64 up to 65K the other day, flipping green on the monthly. Now back down below like 60K. So yeah, we're still kind of crabbing along here. We've seen BTC in this channel for some time. Just under 59K right now. ETH just over 2,500. It went down into the 24s yesterday when Vitalik dumped on everybody. What do you make, I guess, we'll start with Bitcoins right now, Ewok, and time frame of everything? How does the cycle line up? And then we can look into ETH and what a travesty it's been as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least there are some support spots here getting held, right around the 57,000, 58,000 mark. And you are getting higher lows at least. We keep seeing a candle that dips down in here and then it climbs right back up. So not too awful bad. And you're right, that was actually August 5th that happened, the dip.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is sideways channel back and forth. It'd be it'd be good to just kind of play the up and downs here, because it doesn't appear to be encroaching on that previous all-time high that we had back in March, where it hit the 73,000. Just a lot of sideways. As far as ETH goes, it's looking rather strong. I mean, even though the Ethereum Foundation, which we talked about, which you mentioned, dumped whatever it was it 100,000 or 70,000 tokens. So, yeah, I mean, it's got a nice green candle today pulling up. Let's take a look at the ratio. We are back up to 0.042.
Yeah.
So, ideally we want to get back at that 0.05, watch the ratio climb back up a little bit. But this is still in a downward trend. I mean, I've never seen it so clear. This trend just going straight down, and there's not much up and down about it. You draw a line here and it's just, it's pretty damn straight. It doesn't look too good there. So hopefully we can bust out of this channel and start in the right direction. I don't know what kind of time frame it looks like, what it would take to make that happen, but that's where we really need to get out of this downward trend here.
That's really what it then comes down to when you see that horrible price action, is just what's the time frame? Like, is everything pushed back? Is there just not going to be an alt season, or at least the kind that we're used to this crypto cycle? Is Bitcoin finally the king and Ethereum's actually just been a scam all this time, like many people on Twitter would have you think? I refuse to believe that, obviously. I mean, Ethereum has a lot of things going for it, a lot of things built on top of it. I don't think that this thing has value. It just had an ETF approved. I mean, like, we're going to see Ethereum rally at some point. It's just that it is its third cycle. So, I mean, it is the first time that we're seeing it. It's the first time for everything, really. I mean, like, it is its third cycle here. So how will it perform against BTC? It's the shittiest it's done so far, really, in its history this late in the game. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. And talking about timeframes, does that just mean that we could see something where it goes into 2026, which I know Axis Alive has talked about many, many times. He's probably getting even more bullish on that idea right now, I'm sure, like seeing some of this stuff happen and things get extended. Could we see that, or could we just see a more upward violent move from Ethereum eventually? Or could Ethereum just basically be flaccid, chart for the rest of this cycle and, not even do a 2x, like top out at 7K for the cycle, which, I mean, honestly, even if it did do that, there's money to be made, frankly, but it would be
Sure.
a huge disappointment to many people. So, yeah, what do you make
Yeah.
of any of that?
Well, I think what's going on is people are kind of concerned about the rates, about the election. I think there's a lot of things at play, and people are just kind of taking a step back, waiting to see what happens, to see how it plays out. Just being very maybe overly cautious. I don't see it getting. I'm still not in the into 2026 camp.
Hmm.
While it may be a possibility, I'm just seeing maybe a more violent bull run, more condensed, I should say, not violent,
Right.
but more condensed. Although, most time bull runs are already fairly condensed. I could see it shortening a little bit more, even too, um, into a smaller time frame. But I really think it's just the fact that it's the rates, it's the election, it's the just uncertainty of what's going to play out, how if the federal things are going to work out, and who's going to take office. So
Hmm.
that's my prediction. I still see a good year for 2025, but yeah, I think people are just being overly cautious at this point.